Welcome back, everyone, and I hope everyone is having a wonderful day or evening or whatever time you may be watching this. It is super hot here in Florida today, and I just wanted to show you, as promised, my little garden that I've been working on. Now, it's not much, but until we can get some acres, which would be wonderful, where I can have my garden, Sierra can have her chickens and goats, and Scott could have maybe a horse. That would be the perfect thing. But until then, I'm going to show you guys my little garden. So here we go. So of course, please don't mind the mess here. But this little cage used to be, I guess it would be called an outside dog kennel. Over the years, it's been a zombie cage. And then it was just sitting over here in our lot. So I thought, well, I've heard of squirrels and birds and stuff getting to people's vegetable gardens. So I told Scott maybe it would be a good little garden area. So what we did was buy this hardware cloth that's 1/4 inch mesh openings, because from what I hear, the squirrels cannot get in that. And then we covered the big cage part with the mesh. So that's completely surrounded. It's a work in progress. Scott's gonna make me a top. We bought enough to cover the whole top as well, so the little critters can't get in and eat my vegetables. Hopefully once I have the vegetables growing. But here is my corn. Let's go inside. All right, so we had some cinder blocks, and I thought that might be a good thing to use for a raised garden. So I started these sweet corns from seed, actually. And as you can tell, they're doing pretty good. Now, I did do some research, and I saw that one of the reasons these little holes could be here is something called a black cut worm, some kind of cut worm. And guess what? When I looked inside one of them, I saw it. They said one of the ways to take care of it was to just pick them off and kill them. So I did find 2 of them, and that's exactly what I did. So the next thing I did was, today I sprayed some neem oil all over the corn stalks and on this. I don't know what part of the corn this is called, but I did spray the underneath of the leaves. I sprayed inside there with some neem oil. Right now these are probably a little over, probably 5.5 feet, because they are taller than I am. So this is how my corn is looking. I think it's looking pretty good for my first time ever growing any kind of vegetables or fruit. Now let's move on to the tomatoes. So these are my tomato plants. I think they're doing pretty good. I have a couple of little flowers here, another one there. I think it's doing pretty good. So I have, these are beefsteak tomatoes, and these are tomatoes. I think they're doing pretty well. And I also read that marigolds are a good way to keep pests out of your garden. So I did plant some marigold seeds all the way around the perimeter of this garden in the little squares of each of the cinder blocks. So hopefully they do well. They look like they're coming up pretty good. Hopefully they keep away pests. So now I'm going to move on and show you guys my peppers. So corn, tomatoes, that's a pretty good stalk right there, I think. Pretty healthy looking. Tomatoes. Now these are my bell peppers, these guys here. And in here I have onions. So these long ones are supposed to be onions. I don't know how well these will do, because I'm really not, of course, I really don't know what I'm doing with any of this stuff. I think I've just gotten pretty lucky with the tomatoes and the corn. I'm happy with the progress of it. Hopefully I'll get some kind of fruit and vegetables from it. But then again, here is my bell pepper. So I'm not too sure if I'm supposed to thin these out, because I just put the seeds in the ground. These, I spread the seeds out a little bit more to the peppers. But these, I kind of just clumped them in there. I don't know if I'm supposed to thin them out like I did the tomato plants. Maybe someone out there knows how to grow bell peppers. And this, believe it or not, is celery. So I was trying to make my own little compost in here, and I've been crushing up eggshells when we use them and throwing it in here. I've been throwing banana peels into the soil. So I cut up an old piece of celery and I stuck it in the ground, and I churned up the soil before I put in the bell peppers, and look, the celery is actually growing. So I guess it could be propagated as well. So this is the celery, and these are just more of the bell peppers that grew up around the celery. So I think I'm just going to leave the celery and see what it does. I'm not too sure. This is another of the marigolds. I do have to do a lot of weeding, so I need to weed around the edges. Eventually I want to get all of the grass out of in here, the grass and weeds and stuff. This is just clippings of the tomatoes, the tomato plants. I'm kind of leaving them there. Maybe it'll become compost. I want to make a compost pile so we could throw all our vegetables and banana peels in there and make my own compost. So around this side, I also planted more marigolds. This is a cilantro. I think it's doing pretty darn good. This is my fern dill. I think it's doing well too. This is my parsley. They've all been here for a few months now, and they're doing really well in these little areas of the cinder block. And then this is oregano. And once again, between, I did plant some marigolds. These I haven't really been feeding anything. I've just been watering it, and I put garden soil, potting mix, and cow manure in each of these holes. For my tomatoes and for my corn, I have been adding some blood meal, only because they said that corn and tomatoes do need nitrogen. So that's why I've been putting the blood meal in there, because it says, I really do like the way my corn, I think the corn is my favorite of the way it looks. And I'm hoping that we actually get some corn. I don't know at what point from the time you see this to the time you see corn cobs happens. But it's pretty exciting to see that I'm even gotten that far, considering I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Now I want to show you the next thing I've been planting. Sunflowers. So here on the side of the garden, here's the garden cage right here. I planted some mammoth sunflowers. So these are, I think they're called, these might be giant American sunflowers or mammoth. I can't remember. I bought one of each kind that I saw. Then I planted a few others. Let me show you those. So I wasn't too sure how to do this, but these here, these sunflowers are skyscrapers. Then these are another type, which were smaller. So I went from the tallest that said on the package to the shortest. So this one was a skyscraper, and it was pretty tall. Then the next one I think was going to grow to like 10 feet. Then these over here were only supposed to grow to like 7 feet. And then the last row I think was only supposed to get up to like 5 feet, which is this row. And then I have this little row right here. All I did was dig out a little trench. I'm going to put my seeds in there, hoping that they would take. Here's another little update. Over here, I started to take out all the weeds and all the grass. I made a perimeter all the way around my little garden area over here. I went along all the little trench I had done, and I poured some cow manure in there, and I just dropped some seeds in to see if it would take, and guess what? I got myself some sunflowers growing along the edge. So I'm going to hold off on pulling any weeds or anything until all my sunflowers are up, so I don't pull my sunflowers thinking that they're weeds. But I did sprinkle seeds all throughout here. So I'm pretty sure that those are sunflowers, and all these little ones, or most of them, are probably sunflowers too. I'm pretty sure that those are some sort of sunflower. That's a milkweed for my butterflies. So there is the garden, and I do have quite the mess going on here, but what I want to do is from here all the way back, I want to make that all garden area. That Christmas reindeer back there, I was thinking it would be really cool if I can somehow buy some climbing ivy or something and make that like a topiary. I think that would be pretty cool. So this chicken wire here, I want to eventually make it into a potato basket and grow potatoes in here. I've seen people do it with straw and dirt and stuff on YouTube, so that's going to be an upcoming project. If any of you guys want to see me attempt to grow potatoes, I will video the process. These right here are plumerias, that one and this one. And on the front side of the fence here, I have some purple, this is a purple passion fruit vine growing. I have a red passion fruit vine. Actually, it's just a red passion flower vine growing. Trying to train it to go along the fence. And I have another red passion flower vine growing here. They're doing pretty well. Then I have my little homemade bird feeder in this tree. I think this is a maple tree. Not too sure. It came from Ohio, but I'm not sure what kind of tree it is. I think it's a maple tree. But my little homemade bird feeder with the stick, and the birds really love coming over here and eating out of that bird feeder. The squirrels can also eat out of this one, but I have one that's only for birds, and I'll show you that one right now. So this is my bird feeder that is only for birds. When the squirrel tries to get on here, whoop, it closes. Sorry squirrels, no bird seed for you. But they can go over there to the other bird feeder and eat that bird seed if they'd like. I have these flowers climbing, as well as the star jasmine, and that's growing on this structure that used to be a grill cover, and the fabric tore off of it. And then I thought, well, I don't want to throw it out. Why not make it into a little area for climbing flowers? I also bought these grow bags. So in these grow bags, I did put a couple of seeds in here of peppers, the bell peppers. These are onions. I don't know what they're supposed to look like, but I guess they look okay. And believe it or not, these are propagated tomatoes, tomato bushes from the tomatoes that you just saw a little bit ago. All I did was, when I did the clippings, I put them in water, and hopefully I'll have quite a few more tomato bushes from just the ones that I have over there that are doing well. So I want to thank you guys for joining me. Gardener, I said I was a farmer, but that's only what I would like to be someday. But I think I'm doing pretty good on the progress of the tomatoes and the corn and even the peppers. I'm not too sure about the bell peppers, how they're going to turn out, but they look like they're growing pretty well to me. I just don't know if I need to thin them out or transplant them without hurting them. I don't know. I think I'm just going to leave them alone for right now. But if you guys want to see more of the progress of this little garden, comment down below. And I appreciate you guys sticking around, and I hope you guys enjoyed my messy garden. Don't forget, smiles are free, and thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.